What's going on, world? I am a chosen one, and I am being obedient to God for what has recently happened in my life. You know, my past, habitual criminal, drug addict, known for all the wrong things, but now God wants me to put my testimony out there. Remember, this is not about me, this is about Him. I was given 1,000 stories with 1,000 explanations, which was my spiritual awakening. That was so profound that I want to document what's going on. I have a lot of question marks, you know what I mean? This is all new to me, but I'm being obedient to God. I have street cred. To me, that doesn't matter, but maybe to a lot of people, it does matter. I've been in court over my life, in court over and over and over, and I've beaten a lot of drug charges. I was supposed to get a life sentence, yet I didn't. I got paroled. I was blind. My kidneys got healed. There's a lot of positive things, and I encourage you to see the miracles that are happening in my life once I gave God the all in all, 100%, man. Man, my life is literally about praying and being one with God, being one with nature, and my goal is to literally help the world see things through my eyes. I'm going to describe what's going on as a chosen one. Keep an open mind. Just because you can't see it and I can, I'm trying to document what happens with the chosen one. I have a lot of stories that I've already told that had a lot of question marks throughout my whole life. Like, how did this happen? How did that happen? How did you make it out of this? How did you not die? How did you not go to prison for the rest? How? I'll tell you how. Wha-bam! Chosen one. I have all these questions about what happened in my life. And with the spiritual awakening that happened was so profound that ignorance can't be an excuse for me not to know or not to learn or want to seek the truth. So all I do is study, because these gifts are, amazing. Straight up, to be able to talk with God, to be able to feel things, be able to decipher things before even someone can open their mouth. And I've been able to do that over and over and over. I'm very excited to see what happens by next year or 2 years or 3 years from now, because I just started learning and I know the strength and the gifts that I'm already learning. It just takes a little bit of experience. So with me being a chosen one, divine protection, you're going to hear about spiritual warfare. But we're also going to talk about angels and demonic experiences that I've come through. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a little story, a backstory. When I was in Colorado, I get a phone call from somebody I know. He was actually my drug dealer in Colorado, and he told me he needed to see me. And I go meet him, and he's like, man, you were on Telemundo last night. So if you on Telemundo, you on the white people's channel. I'm trying to talk like him because he didn't speak a lot of English. But, after doing research, man, I was featured on the news, and they wanted questions. They didn't know who I was. They just had, questions for all these crimes that were being done. And so I hit the road, man. And at one of my locations, I ended up in New York. And I ended up becoming good friends with a guy named, he was a son of a mob boss, but we were up to no good, and I ended up getting arrested in Cooper's Projects in Brooklyn, and I didn't know about that, but I can tell you when the cops came to arrest me because of what I was doing, they asked me, they saw my ID and they were like, do you know where you're at? And I'm like, I'm here. And they were like, you in the toughest projects in Brooklyn. And I was like, nah, man, I thought these were just apartments straight up. But because I have lived that lifestyle, I didn't see none of that. I was there for whatever. But I get caught with heroin. I was put in jail. I went to court the next day, and they ended up releasing me the next day. I thought it was a trap because what the judge told me was, you can walk out those doors right now if you plead guilty, and I'll fine you. And I looked at the public defender. I was like, is this a trick? He was like, no, it's true. You can walk out those doors if you plead. And I'm like, man, guilty. the amount of heroin that I had on me in Florida, I'd have went up the road. These are one of those divine protections because, I mean, who gets caught with that much heroin and gets released the freaking next day? But what the insanity part is, man, as soon as I walked out them doors, despite just being arrested, despite being in jail, I went right back to doing the exact same thing I got arrested for. That's the insanity part. I didn't see it because that was my norm. I had a habit when I crossed the United States leaving Colorado, but there are more stories about that. But I also want to talk about, an angel. Angels in my life. I believe I met two angels, and one angel, when I was a jit and I was sent to prison on a 4-year sentence, there was this Chico, man. He was an older Chico. He moved the dude out of his cell, and he literally, he schooled me until I was sent to prison. But it kept me safe. All them years in prison kept me safe in all the county jails, every state, every place that I've been to. Like, he told me, don't join the gangs. This is what you can say. This is what you can do. Don't show fear. He schooled me. And it literally kept me safe the whole time, man. Every time I've been locked up a lot of times, known as a career and habitual criminal. I believe he was an angel, man. Also, another angel, man. When I got out of Colorado prison, I was sent to a behavior modification program. And, once you're allowed to leave, you can get a job. And I remember I got a job and I was very uncomfortable. There were people there helping me out. But I ended up losing that job within a week because I was no bueno on the phone. I was no bueno being in a cubicle. I just wasn't my forte. And I felt so uncomfortable anyways. But I ended up, and I remember walking through 16th Street Mall, which is, in downtown Denver, and I felt down, I felt depressed, and I felt all these emotions. Oh, poor me. But there was this lady, and I use this phrase all the time: turn that frown upside down. This lady came up to me because she had a face. She went up to me and went like this, man. What she said to me motivated me so much. Remember, I had just lost my job. I had to go tell this behavior modification program that I lost my job and why this and why that, and I felt bad. But in actuality, that lady's words, man, motivated me. I went back then, told them, bro, I had a job the next day. Why? Because I didn't feel bad for myself. And if you have a past, man, that's no excuse. It ain't what I wanted to do, but I got a job the next day. Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps. But what was cool about that, man, was I ended up becoming a supervisor of that job. I had the lowest paying job in that behavior modification program, but yet my savings and my checking was a little bit more. Remember, this ain't about me. This is about God. I'm just letting you know. And then I had to go back. Now, mind it, being a supervisor, this is going to be another story, man. I had access to the safe. I had to go back to the freaking to the program and let them know, man, Scam I Am came out, man. The Scam I Am came out. And I started plotting my own robbery because now I had access to the freaking safe. But I went back to the program and I literally told them what my mind was. Because how am I going to change if I don't allow other people to see my view and we can talk about it back and forth? It takes time, effort, and I had to talk about it in order to get over me wanting to plot my own robbery for what was in the safe. But it helped me out, man. Pier 1 helped me out, that behavior modification program. I'm gonna talk about a lot of things that I learned. And I know it's going to be beneficial for a lot of people. Because if you don't put time and effort into trying to change your habits, how's it going to happen? Seriously. So, stay up, stay blessed. Have a great day. Bye.